something which depends on one's environment and subjective experience, and transform it into a measurable quantity. New Year's Eve. What really makes this day important? The Earth rotates around the Sun roughly every 365.24 days, which we round to 365 and attempt to accommodate by utilizing leap years. Our calendar is based off of actual astronomical measurement, but still, there is no one moment in which the Earth begins to rotate around the Sun. Our solar orbit is a cycle, not a number line. We tend to view New Year's Day as a beginning, but the cyclical reality reminds us that this is a cultural construction. To illustrate the subjectivity of the Georgian calendar, it's helpful to understand how we began using it in the first place. In the article, Adoption and Reform of the Gregorian Calendar from Math Horizons, Volume 7, Number 3, from February of 2000, the history of the Gregorian calendar is explained in great detail. '46 BCE. Julius Caesar proposes the Julian calendar, a solar reform of the ambiguous Roman calendar. It establishes years which consist of 365 days, with a leap year every 4 years to account for the true orbit of the Earth around the Sun, roughly 365.25 days. February 24th, 1582. Pope Gregory XIII introduces the modern Gregorian calendar to the European public. Released with a declaration by the Pope called Inter Gravismus, is a modification of the Julian calendar. Despite the Pope's announcement, the Gregorian calendar wouldn't be legally adopted in England for nearly another 200 years. In the eyes of Pope Gregory, the Julian had one major flaw. The Bible says that Easter is to fall on the first Sunday after the first full moon following the spring equinox. The Julian calendar had a leap year every 4 years to account for the uneven 365.25 day orbit of the Sun, which year by year set the spring equinox earlier on the calendar, subsequently changing the date of Easter. The Pope thought this would be a major issue and pushed mathematicians and astronomers to solve this problem, eventually settling on a proposed calendar by Luigi Lilio, who is a lecturer on medicine at the University of Perugia. The Pope ultimately took credit for this creation. Given the Gregorian calendar's existence only ensured Easter fell on the spring equinox, people were bound to have some logical problems with it. In her book, The Equitable Calendar, Rational Solution, Mary Hortonese Kohler posited two problems with the Gregorian. One, the same date occurs on a different weekday each year, and two, the length of the month is inconsistent. But where does this desire to have an internally consistent and abstractly measurable calendar come from? September 1751. The Earl of Chesterfield pushes the bill which mandates the Gregorian calendar, sometimes referred to as Chesterfield's Act. This bill changed the English New Year from its original position on March 25th to January 1st and the date of September 3rd to September 14th, omitting 7 days from that month. Major confusion with rent, mortgages, holidays, and other scheduled events left people feeling that those 11 days were unjustly stolen from them, reportedly causing riots which left several dead. 1849. Auguste Comte conceives the positivist calendar, a 13-month calendar with 28 day months. With a spunky and well-read disposition, Comte comes to the names of the month. Moses, Homer, Aristotle, Archimedes, Caesar, St. Paul, Charlemagne, Dante, Gutenberg, Shakespeare, Descartes, Frederick, and Descartes. 1884. The competition is hosted by Camille Flammarion for the most pragmatic calendar reform idea. In first place was Gaston Armelin, and in second was Emile Hameen. Moses E. Poplar proposes the International Fixed Calendar. It consists of 13 months, with each month consisting of 28 days, and ends with a blank day at the end of each year. Each month begins with a Sunday and ends with a Saturday. The 13th month is called Sol and would be placed between June and July. It's unclear if Cotsworth was aware of Auguste Comte's 13-month positivist calendar prior to his proposition. September 1923. The League of Nations enacted a calendar reform subcommittee which publishes a book of proposed reforms. 1924. Octavius Smith proposes the world calendar, which is a transformation of Gaston Armelin and Emile Hameen's ideas. The world calendar consists of 12-month years, with each year being divided into 4 quarters. The months within each quarter follow a 31-30-30 day length pattern. Each year ends with World's Day, a proposed international holiday without a weekday to call its own. 1931. The Gregorian calendar begins to be legally challenged. The first international conference on calendar reform is hosted by the League of Nations Calendar Reform Committee. The conference is hosted in Geneva. The Gregorian calendar remains as the international standard primarily because the blank day proposed with both the world calendar and the international fixed calendar interfered with the Sabbath, the day of rest and worship observed by Christians on Sunday. Time is not a concrete reflection of the world, but rather a viscous fluid which ebbs and flows depending on cultural context and history. Additionally, the measurement of time has been institutionalized by governmental entities, many of which are biased towards a particular perspective. The Gregorian calendar clearly being instantiated from a Catholic perspective. So, how does this relate to New Year's? To be clear, there's nothing wrong with the celebration of the New Year. There may not be anything in the physical universe called January 1st, but the value we place in ideas and practices is what makes them real to us. It's possible to exist within one's subjectivity while acknowledging its constructed nature. It's possible to kill time while making time. It's possible to be in conversation with our cultural constructions, challenging the ways in which they hold us back. This brings us to New Year's resolutions, a long-standing practice of New Year's Day. How might this practice benefit us, and how might it hold us back? Have you ever set a New Year's resolution, gotten excited about the possibility of change, only to find yourself right back at the beginning a few weeks later? Well, you're not alone. Recent research shows that just 9% of Americans that make resolutions successfully complete them. 23% of people quit by the end of the first week, and 43% of people quit by the end of January. Why does this happen? resolutions can be especially enticing because of how they frame the possibility of change. Instead of a gradual process of small, consistent changes, we are offered the promise of huge, instantaneous success. This reflects the contemporary culture's relationship with instant gratification and the uncomfortable reality of delayed gratification. Over the past few months, I've gradually, keyword gradually, been reading Scott Young's book, Atomic Habits. I'm suspicious of his disposition to productivity and his relationship to money as a wealthy white cishet man. But regardless, this book offers practical insights into how behavior change actually works. How to get out of the cycle of willpower and collapse that is associated with large goals for many people. Many of the ideas below are interpretations on and iterations of the ideas explored in the book as they connect to New Year's resolutions. To enact real, long-term change, the uncomfortable reality is that there is no shortcut. You have to put in the work, the consistent work, to ensure that you're able to actually integrate something. You have to get down to the nitty-gritty of what you're enacting consistently over time. We tend to associate someone's ability to change with their willpower and orient ourselves to our own behaviors being a result of how much willpower we have, often leading us to feel lazy or ineffective when we are not able to perform the desired behavior, like going to bed on time or exercising once a day. The reality is, the people who are able to successfully perform healthy habits have the average Jeremiah. They just know how to wield their natural tendency towards the easiest behavior to their advantage. Systems are more effective than goals. It's possible that you've heard finance pros and professional researchers suggest this, but it applies to all of us. Goals are exciting and can work for different people at different times, but a goal in isolation is essentially ineffective and can potentially cause more stress than benefit. Additionally, the implementation of systems can exist separately from goals. You can get the same outcomes from setting systems as you can from setting systems with goals. As the adage goes, work smarter, not harder. So, how do we set these systems? There are myriad ways to set these systems for ourselves. One of the most powerful approaches being to start extremely small with our implementation of change. If you want to develop a consistent reading habit, but you've never read consistently, you should start by reading a page a day. If you try to begin by reading a book every week, your system is going to have a counter-reaction. A concept which is not explored so rigorously in the book is the importance of surrendering your expectations when learning something new. We can only really learn something if we are willing to see it for what it is, not for what we think it is. This is exactly the logic behind illustrating the subjectivity of the Gregorian calendar. Our perspective is subjective, and the more we treat our perspective as gospel, the more we alter our calendar so that our Easter aligns with the spring equinox, the more disconnected we become from the beings around us and to the world. Contrarily, when we embrace our subjectivity and respect other subjectivities that we exist in relation to, we get closer to actual reality. In order to enact actual change, you have to be willing to investigate where that desire is coming from and what it means to change in ways that might make you uncomfortable. no need to put words to this, just try to remember those feelings. The value in New Year's Eve lies in its offer as a time to reflect on how you've grown, whether by choice or otherwise. It's a culturally allotted moment to do so, and I encourage you to take advantage of it, even if it doesn't reflect the physical world. Time can be exhilarating, and it can engulf us with its gaping mouth of staleness. But the greatest blessing is that we get to shape that time and how we relate to it. To kill time and for time to kill us.
I just wanted to say a few words. One, if any of you guys were here last year for New Year's, it was the first countdown that was in this space, which was incredible. A lot noisier, chaotic, mostly from the missing piece of the puzzle, Sage, who's not here, but doing well. And just want to shout out to Sage. I try my best sometimes. I admire Sage. I was like, I wish I could just get out there and throw shit, but it's just not me. And, if anyone would like to take that place, being a person who throws shit at people at the library, it's volunteering. I feel that I have a lot of desire for catharsis and in the noise sphere and in the performance world of Sage and Avery and a lot of other folks could really achieve that. And I think that's in this space for sure. That was we were just kept taking it over from the tattoo shop and immediately went into a DIY space, and it's been under so many different circumstances. And I'm really proud that everyone is still around and coming out and putting good energy into the space. It's another it's funny, going back into realms after being here, I'm like, holy shit, it's so loud. And it's really nice to, I think this will be, a space where we do more events like this that are experimental, ambient noise, and also just a third space to balance realms and a bit warmer. And I love realms. I love your realms. But I'm very excited, and I'm just super blessed and proud to have so many people that want to come out to realms, stuff like this, to make it all happen.
We love you guys.
Thank you. I think 2026 is just leading with intention and community forward, and I feel like 2025 was a lot of ups and downs, and learned a lot. I think it's important to honor mistakes and honor experiences, even if they're perceived negatively in your life, not just to cast them away like some old hair that you cut off. And I think 2026 is going to be a powerful year, to say the least. I wouldn't say just powerful. So with that, thank you so much, and have a good rest of the evening.
Yeah.